This Monday, February 26th, NBA Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up today by using promo code NBA SGPN and then go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog to enter our bonus contest. 5 winners will receive shirts, hats, and a $50 SGPN gift card. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. It is Monday, February 26th, currently 11:13 on the East Coast. Here to recap what we saw in the association over the weekend and get into the short 4-game schedule here on the Monday docket. But joining me here to help me break it all down, you guys know him as the villain himself, the superstar of the show, fresh off of his birthday weekend. It's Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
Horrible. Yeah, the birthday was all right. It was cool. Things were going pleasant. You know, Mark Dagnall, OKC minus 16. Cool, coasted, didn't have to worry about it. D'Lo scored, he went over his points prop. Andrew Wiggins scored, he went over his points prop. It was all good until the Charlotte Hornets and the Golden State Warriors ending, where Golden State, insult to injury, tried to put up one last bucket because they know the spread. They know the spread. Golden State knows the spread. They know. That's probably why they folded. They knew that they were the favorite last night and Denver was plus money. And they said, you know what? Let's just stop playing. And this point in the second half, let's just stop playing basketball and let's just let Denver get it. They know the spread. Golden State. If somebody on that Golden State team gets bounced for betting, then I 100% believe it's going to be Golden State. Golden State's going to get popped for betting for sure. They know the spread.
I had the Hornets plus the 13. Was it Friday night, Saturday night?
I got it at 12.5. I had that 12.5. I got it at 12.5. It was the only leg of the birthday parlay that missed. That's
frustrating. That is frustrating. Especially if we're to come down to the final seconds there.
Like, if you're going to fix the game, that's fine. I'm 100% fine with people fixing games. There are people out there that hate that sports are being fixed. I don't care. Just let me know so I can be on the right side. Just let me know. Let me know so I can be on the right side. You can fix all you want. I promise you I won't care. Just let me know so I can be on the right side so I can win too. It's frustrating.
That's 100% definitely frustrating for sure, man. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we had a full schedule of games actually yesterday on Sunday. Believe it or not, I think every single game ended up going under the total last night. I think
10-1.
Yeah, I think the one push was the Rockets game, if I'm not mistaken. Rockets and Thunder. That ended up, I think, pushing, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, at 233. Yep, at 233 they pushed everything, and it's so crazy because I was looking at the slate, and I kept saying San Antonio and Utah. I was like, oh, I see some movement to the under, but I think that's an over game. I don't know why that would be an under. That opened up at 241.5. It closed at 239.5 at the game. I was like, all right, I guess that's a no bet for me. Went under. Same feeling with the Atlanta game. I was like, oh, betting an under with Atlanta sounds terrible, but Orlando, it felt like Orlando was going to win that game. Like, it really felt like Orlando was it. And they were in the driver's seat at one point to win.
Yeah.
And they just kind of squandered away, gave it up. That went under. So I was looking at a few unders. The Charlotte and the Portland game. I was like, man, that under is just low, but it could be ugly enough. Sure enough, nobody made it to 100. Shout out to Charlotte getting yet another win. Doesn't matter because they didn't cover the game that I needed them to cover. But yeah, whatever. Bunch of games. That's a crazy day. Imagine if somebody parlayed all the unders.
I saw somebody did actually on before we got on here on Twitter.
Okay.
I think
I was sitting there looking at it too. I was like, why are all these games trending to the under? Like, some of these games just kind of feel like over spots for me. And I ultimately didn't end up playing any of the overs, but Yeah, I wish I next time I see that, I'm gonna just do it.
Yes, since the All-Star break, unders are now 25, 9 and 2, right around 74.5%. So maybe we missed a train on it, especially with all the games going under. Maybe today's an under day as well, but I think at some point we'll see some of these overs coming, regressing at least back to the mean at least. But
Mhm,
I think the one injury news that we maybe should mention, but maybe it doesn't make a difference anymore. And pretty much my favorite bet of the regular season, the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young is going to be out for 4 weeks with the finger injury that he did suffer in the game against the Raptors.
mhm.
Maybe done for the rest of the season. We'll see. But he has a finger issue. He's going to have surgery, I believe, today or tomorrow. And then he'll be out at least 4 weeks for the Atlanta Hawks. So that was the big injury news out of the association this weekend. So anything else you want to mention? You want to get into the Jimmy Butler, the Heat, and the
I think
Pelicans fight or lack
oh,
thereof?
uh, I mean, I ain't really I think they both were. I don't know. I don't know about that one. But what I will say is that in lesser news, Patrick Williams is done for the season
Yeah.
for the Bulls. So a lot of people, who's Patrick Williams? But pretty solid defender, pretty solid wing player for that Bulls
Yeah.
team. So they're gonna be without him for the rest of the season. Uh I don't think I really had anything. We got Jimmy Butler, Najee Marshall. What did I miss? I think I missed Jose Alvarado's involvement, and I think I missed somebody else that got suspended for a game. I'm assuming he just walked off the bench, but I was like, it's a couple of people that got suspended. I was like, you did something?
So Jose
Maybe I need to
Alvarado
watch the
actually
video
came
again.
off of the bench. He was actually throwing haymakers. He was actually swinging. Um, I bel
Dang, I
and I
must have missed that part.
Yeah, it was right like on the sideline where usually the coaches stand, and it kind of trickled over to that sideline by the like the announcers and everything. And then
Hmm.
there's like a video from like from a fan perspective where Jose Alvarado was coming down there, just started swinging. I don't know who it was, but there were guys that I know we'll talk about it in the injury report for the Miami game here tonight. But Jimmy Butler obviously suspended. Thomas Bryant is there as well, and then Nikola Jovic is suspended as well. So a couple guys going to be out here for Miami at least for the next couple games
Hmm.
on their little West Coast trip here right now. But yeah, I think that's kind of the highlight of the weekend. We talked about the Hornets and the Warriors at the end of that game, but
Ooh, Najee Marshall was really backpedaling in this clip. A lot of
yeah, he
backpedaling
grabs
going
him by
on.
the throat and he started backpedaling.
I want to see the Jose. I never saw the Jose Alvarado angle. I want to see that one. Let me see.
Let me see if I can find the
Jose
fan angle of it. I'll send it to you.
Alvarado. Let me see here. Let's see if we can get this angle. Oh, Thomas Bryant stole off on him.
Yeah, it was Thomas Bryant. That's who it was. So them
Oh.
two had gotten into it right there on the sideline.
Oh, that's who I was like, wait, how did Thomas Bryant? And I figured he just got off the bench. Oh, Thomas Bryant threw a punch. Dang, a fan threw a drink. Oh, that's how the Malice in the Palace happens. Oh, oh, and they got you on camera too. You is never going back to a game. Look, security pointed him out too. Oh, he is done. He's never going back to the game. Oh yeah, the fan that just threw the drink is gone.
That's in the
Oh
CJ
man, what if
McCollum
he turned
jersey.
around? And he's like down there in the bottom row too. Like it's not like Meta World Peace. Meta World Peace was so mad he had to climb up like 10 flights of stairs to go get to the guy. At that point, you're a little calmed down. He threw that joint like 4 rows away. Man. And then why is Thomas Bryant trying to piece up Jose Alvarado? You got like a foot height difference.
Oh man! All right. Anything else from the
Boo,
weekend?
boo, boo. That disappointed. Boo. What did hey, Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson just said on their podcast too. Nobody's trying to fight.
Yeah, I saw that. They're like, yeah, and ain't nobody trying to fight. Nobody's really trying
Fight
to fight.
Ryan. He said I fight Ryan. TJ McConnell.
All
I had to kill TJ
right.
McConnell.
All right. Before we get into the games here for tonight, let
When's the
me
next time the
tell
Pacers play the Knicks, man?
Pacers and Knicks square up. We'll have to
Let
check the
me
schedule.
see. Let me
Yeah,
look.
you look
Go
that up,
ahead.
and I'll go ahead and talk about Underdog Fantasy here. Look, hey, we're in that contest I told you guys about across the network, and some of the listeners have stepped up, and appreciate everybody that's supporting the NBA Gambling Podcast. So, Underdog Fantasy, it's the easiest place to play fantasy sports, and it's also the fastest growing fantasy app in the industry. Pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on their stat total in this week's games for a chance to win big. You can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry, and can also make rival picks with which pits 2 players against each other. We've had pretty good success on the NBA Gambling Podcast over the past couple of weeks. You're putting our entries together, so stay tuned at the end of the episode. Terrell and I will put together our Underdog Fantasy entry here for tonight, so you guys can watch along, maybe make your own picks, and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or their website, underdogfantasy.com. And if you haven't already signed up, make sure you use our promo code NBASGPN and get your first deposit doubled up to $100, as well as an instant pick'em special. Visit underdogfantasy.com or find them in the App Store. And don't forget to register with our promo code NBASGPN. Must be 18 plus and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Again, SGPN, we're teaming up with Underdog Fantasy to give you even more of a bonus. Sign up between now and the end of the month, and 5 winners will receive an Underdog hat, Underdog t-shirt, and a $50 SGPN gift card. So sign up today using promo code NBASGPN and go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog to enter the contest for your chance to win.
Munaf, I would just like the people to know that we are currently tied for first place with the Fantasy Football Podcast for the number of Underdog signups. I think that's kind of kind of wild. I'm not gonna lie, because we're in season. They're not. They're literally talking about the combine.
Yeah.
Combine. That's what they're talking about. The combine. And they're tied with us in first place for Underdog signups. And they're talking about the combine.
That's pretty bad.
Combine?
Pretty bad.
What are we talking about here, man? We're not talking about the game. We're not talking about the game that they actually go and play for fake. We're not talking about the game that they play for fake and, prepping for that in the offseason, and the season's a week away. We're talking about the combine, man. Combine. Fantasy football. Come on. Our listeners are going to sign up. Our listeners are going to sign up. They're going to help us out and make sure that we get the signups, because we're talking about what? Combine. Please. Talking about the combine.
Hey, maybe more of our listeners do step up, but hey, a couple of them have stepped up. But hey, few days left. Come on. Get us to that finish line and into that contest absolutely free. Hook you up with some merch from Underdog Fantasy and the SGPN $50 gift card. All right, Terrell, 4 games here. Let's get into it, my man. First game.
Put that on social. We got to put that on social.
Yeah.
We're starting beef. We're starting beef with the other SGPN pods. We're about to start some beefs around SGPN for sure.
I'm trying to get an updated number on where we're at from Sean. Let's see what he comes back with if we do pull into the lead, or if not, fantasy football's kicking our butt when they're off season. But first game on the schedule here, let's get into it. Toronto Raptors, they are in Indiana here tonight to take on the Pacers. Pacers are a 6-point home favorite here with a total of 244.5. Looking at the injury report, I'll start here with the Toronto Raptors. Pretty clean injury report. Only guys on the injury report are guys that are on G League 2-way contracts. Indiana did play against Dallas at home yesterday. They did get the victory 133-111 against the Dallas Mavericks. And now on a back-to-back situation here at home against the Raptors, who may be raising a little bit of eyebrows coming out of the All-Star break. They've won, I believe, both of their games, if I'm not mistaken here. But the offense looks better. But Terrell, let's start with the side here. Pacers laying 6 against this Raptor squad.
All right, so we have Indiana here, who is bottom of the league on back-to-backs this season. So that's not going to sit well. But currently 2-8, last place in terms of how they do on a back-to-back. And I mean, the question mark that I really have for this Toronto team is the same thing that I kind of have for the Indiana, is what's going to be the effort on the defensive side of ball for, these two teams. Like, are they going to put forth the effort? Toronto, kind of night and day in the 2 games since the All-Star break, 93 points against the Brooklyn Nets. Respectable. It's the Brooklyn Nets. On the road against Atlanta, 121 given up. Still get wins in both of those games. And yeah, Indiana's still defending home court here after the All-Star break. and playing a little bit better defense. 115 to the Detroit Pistons, 111 to the Dallas Mavericks. It kind of feels like they're in a rhythm now, and they're catching a stride after the All-Star break at home. They didn't have to go anywhere. They were here the whole time, and I think that's really where the defense and some of the conditioning and the overall fatigue kind of steps up, because they didn't really go anywhere. They were there for the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, you're getting back ready for the season. So it's like, you're good. You're in your homes. You're with your families, and Indiana probably poised to make a pretty good run here. I think I'll back the form of Indiana with all of that, and the fact that I just don't trust Toronto defensively. Toronto's still on the road here, and I'm expecting to see more points on the Indiana side of the ball, not as much as the Raptors. So I'm gonna go with the Pacers -6.
Yeah, the Pacers on back-to-back situations this season are 2-8 straight up, 2-8 against the spread. But I think it is a great point that you point out that it's not really much. There hasn't been much traveling for this Pacers team. If anything, after the All-Star break, they're just playing in back-to-back games. It's a home and home back-to-back.
Yeah, look at it. They Valentine's Day, they went to Toronto, beat this team 127-125.
Yeah.
And then after that, you're in Indiana the whole time. You go back to Indiana for the All-Star break. You're chilling at home for the All-Star break. After the All-Star break, you got those few days off. You're probably still in it. I mean, some of these people, I mean, they can fly out and go anywhere. They're millionaires. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But
yeah,
they haven't had to leave Indiana in a really long time. And so even though this is a back-to-back, I just have to think that they're less fatigued. And you have a Toronto team that, again, I don't know what their motivation on the road is. They're not that good of a road team. They've given up points on the road to Atlanta. I think that this Indiana Pacers team makes up they're a better Atlanta, basically what they are. They're a better Atlanta. And so I think that Indiana's still going to be able to score. So I like Indiana team total over. I think that's probably the play I like more than -6, honestly. I think the team total over is the play for me.
Yeah, not a lot of minutes played last night, but the Indiana starters either. Andrew Nimhard and Benedict Mathurin were the two guys that played the most minutes at 33. But other than that, Hallie was at 31, Miles Turner 30, Pascal Siakam 29 last night against the Dallas Mavericks. So I know we talked about the unders hitting, but I think this is a game where we do see points being put up, like especially just with the pace that the Pacers play at. So again, like Terrell mentioned, if you like the Pacers team total over or full game over, I think this number, despite it even being at 244.5, I think is a little low. Especially with, like Terrell mentioned, these two teams that just matched up, they got over 250 points in that game. And Toronto has looked better offensively as well. I watched a couple of their games since the All-Star break, and they're playing with a little bit more pace as well. Kelly Olynyk has been really good on the offensive side for them as well, just initiating the offense and just finding guys around the basket as well. So
120 in both of those games.
Yeah. So I'll lean with the Raptors, but I think I'm on agreement with Terrell that I think that we do see points being put up in this game. So full game over for me at 244.5 in this game. Any player props looking at in this game, Terrell?
I don't know. I'm concerned about what if Indiana's turned the corner in the second half of the season defensively? Holding Dallas to that 111 last night was really I was like, okay, because I thought that was clearly that game was clearly going to go over and Dallas was going to keep up their part, but it was really just Indiana. That's kind of why I leaned more to that Indiana team total. And so if I'm leaning to the Indiana team total, of course I'm just going to give out some Indiana props. And so Halliburton assists. I mean, you feel that feels good every night. Like there's never a night that really doesn't feel good, but that feels good every night. Toronto has some issues defending players inside the paint, scoring inside the paint. And so if I have a team that struggles against scoring inside the paint, playing the Pacers, I always look at Ben Mathurin, Nesmith, especially Nesmith if he plays. I don't think Nesmith is going in this one. I think he's out for this one. But those guys are slasher types, get to the rim, get to the basket types, those that are really going to challenge people inside the paint. So I'll be on Ben Mathurin today over 15.5.
Just looking at Scotty Barnes' assist and rebounds in this game, that number's at 14.5. It is at -140, but he's gone over this projection in at least 5 straight games for the Toronto Raptors. He's been pretty close to triple. I don't want to say, he's been close to triple doubles in about he got one against the Cavs before the All-Star break, but there was a game after that where he had 7, 9, and 9, 29, 12, and 8. Against a Atlanta Hawks, he had 5 rebounds, 10 assists, 12 and 3 against the Brooklyn Nets. So I think that, again, if we're expecting pace in this game, I do think that Scotty Barnes can get over this projection of 14.5 of assists and rebounds. Quickly, threes has been a thing as well. He's been pretty solid coming out of the All-Star break, shooting it. I want to say he's hit at least 4 in each of the first 2 games since returning from the All-Star break. So actually he's hit 5. 5 against the Nets, 6 against the Atlanta Hawks, 11 of 19 combined for Emmanuel Quickly. So that number's probably at 3.5 for Quickly here. Let me see. Where's Emmanuel? 2.5 at -120. So yeah, I like that one as well for Emmanuel Quickly. Anything else you got for this game?
Oh, and Pascal. I'm throw Pascal out there again too.
All right.
21.5. Got to. Indy, Raptors, still fresh. It's still fresh.
Yeah. All right. Next game on the schedule, we'll go over to Madison Square Garden. The Detroit Pistons, they are headed to take on the Knicks. Knicks currently sitting as an 11-point favorite in this game.
Alex revenge game.
Alex versus Bojan Bogdanovic revenge game.
Revenge game. Ooh.
223.
Quentin Grimes revenge game.
I think he's out for this game because I know he was out. I think they said he was going to be out for a week, or was that Marcus Saucer? I think I saw.
No, that's Marcus Sasser.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So if anything, we may get more Quentin Grimes.
223.5, the total injury report. All right, here we go. So, like you mentioned, Marcus Sasser is going to be out for a week. Isaiah Stewart is going to be out. He's serving that league suspension. And then for the Knicks, the usual suspects, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson. Knicks struggling a bit, man, especially on the defensive side. They gave up 116 to the Boston Celtics. They lost that game by 14. I don't know if a lot of people watched that game, but I think it was that third or fourth quarter where the Celtics were hitting almost every 3-point shot that they were getting up. So defensively, right now, over the last 5 games, the Knicks are the worst rated defense right now in the entire association. They're struggling a little bit right now. But Terrell, Pistons catching 11 points here in Madison Square Garden, man. Who's turning into Michael Jordan tonight?
Probably Grimes, if he plays. I think he should play.
Let me see if I can find the status.
I think he should play. He should play. He played the last game, 26 minutes. He was 2 for 8, which means this prime, or could be Malachi Flynn. I mean, it's technically a Malachi revenge game by definition. Evan Fournier. It's a lot of opportunity. Actually, it's probably I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna be Evan Fournier.
He's actually been getting minutes. That's crazy.
Yes, it's probably gonna be. Yeah. It's probably gonna be Evan Fournier. Now that I think about it, it's more than likely gonna be Evan Fournier. He might bury the Knicks today, and it's gonna piss me off. But he might bury the Knicks today. Wow, how could it not be? If you're Evan Fournier, you have to have a great game today.
He's been playing 26, 25, 19, 18. And most of his shots, if not majority of them, are coming from the 3-point line.
Yeah, it's going to be Fournier. He's going to piss me off. He's going to piss me off today. I'm ultimately prepared for it. Are you taking the Pistons?
I thought that the Saturday night game would be a bounce back spot for the Knicks going up against the Celtics. But I think I am going to take the Pistons here, catching the 11. I just need to see
it's
it.
Like first. As much as we want to like the Knicks, it's been pretty bad the last 5 games.
It has been really bad, yeah. I'm trying to see when's the last time they covered a spread. Let me see.
I mean, they covered the game when Philly. It was a short 1.5, and they destroyed Philly. But outside of that,
they're 1-7.
Yeah, you lose to Orlando. You had the terrible game against Houston. You've got the Pacers game that you lost. They weren't good going into the All-Star break. It's kind of 50-50 after the All-Star break. You get a really, really good win against Philly. Had me feeling really good about the Knicks, and then they lost against Boston. And you know how I feel about them.
Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, I feel like the Pistons have been competitive, like, for the most part. Lost by 6 to the Clippers, covered there. You didn't cover 11.5 or 13.5 against the Lakers or the Suns before the All-Star break. Come back, and you just missed the cover against the Pacers, but you get the game against Orlando. Orlando was on the back-to-back. Orlando sucks on back-to-backs and never really covers, so that could be a little bit misfortune. I mean, I guess I'll still go Knicks minus 11, but I don't know why I should feel comfortable in it. The Knicks haven't been playing the best ball, and it's just because of injuries.
So I was just looking up the Knicks defensive rating without OG Anunoby, and it's at 122.9 compared to 115 with OG Anunoby on the floor for the Knicks team. So when we talk about like defensively, it's like it's Josh Hart. And then like after that, I'm not sure who's really playing defense right now. It's showing up in this in the stats as well, right? Because like I mentioned, without OG Anunoby, at least over the last 5 games, Knicks are the worst rated defense in the entire league, right down there with the Utah Jazz. The Clippers have been struggling defensively. The Wizards, Nets, Lakers. So it's not New York Knicks basketball right now without OG Anunoby in the lineup. So I'm gonna take the points here, man. Like you mentioned, that these teams. Yeah, with these teams that go into Madison Square Garden, I think that I've seen the Pistons at least put up some type of fight. I just can't get behind this Knicks team right now, man. They're struggling both on the offense and defensive side right now.
Yeah. And it's the Garden. Regardless of how much better the Knicks are, it's the Garden. People show up in the Garden. Yeah, okay. I can get behind that.
Total 223.5. Anything there?
Kind of lean under.
Yeah, I think
I feel like the only thing I would actually bet is maybe a Pistons team total over. But ultimately, I'm afraid of the Pistons just not being able to score. But I'm afraid of the Knicks being so lackadaisical on that side of the ball against this Pistons team that it's just not an effort. It just feels like a gross mass loss of effort for the worst team in the league coming to the crib, and you need a get right game. And I mean, I guess you need a get right game, but this could be like what 110-90.
Yeah.
If it goes the Knicks way, and let's say that we're wrong and the Knicks start playing hella good defense and the Pistons go into that stretch where they can't score the basketball anymore, like I can see 110-90. But if you're taking the chance of the Knicks have been horrible defensively and they're going to give up points to this Pistons team, then I would take a Pistons team total over. I really don't like the total. I actually don't like this game at all, believe it or not, because I kind of want to bet Pistons, but I can't get myself to the window and say, let's take the Pistons plus 11 here with the Knicks, who have consistently destroyed lesser competition. Like the bottom of the barrel teams in the league, they have destroyed them.
So since 2020, when these two teams have matched up, how many games do you think the Pistons have won? It's been 11 matchups since 2020.
5.
0-11 are the
Pistons haven't won since 2020.
They haven't won since 2020. They're 2-8-1 against the spread, 5-5-1 to the total.
Yeah, that's making me feel better about the Knicks.
Yeah, so
I feel like I'm closer. I feel like I'm getting closer to placing a Knicks bet than a Pistons bet, and maybe if I play a Knicks bet, I'm getting closer to that under than the over.
Yeah, last 4 road games. I know that traditionally the Pistons have been a team, at least this season, that I've been trending towards the over in their road games, but 4 straight unders on the road for the Pistons on the total at least. So I think I'll still lean Pistons here, but I think this might be an ugly game, man. I think that the Knicks have to clamp down on defense. 223 was it and a half is a total. I think I'm gonna go with the under.
All right.
JR saying today is the day. 11-1. What else you got? Anything else for this? At least aside in total, we're getting the player props here.
Play Evan Fournier today, man. I'm telling you, at the end of the day, Evan Fournier is gonna have like 5 threes. He's
He's
gonna
been
piss
getting
me
them
off
up.
today. He's gonna piss me off today. I know it. He's gonna piss me off today. It's gonna be Evan Fournier. He's gonna piss me off.
Yeah, wait closer to game time because he's not listed right now, obviously, for him coming off of the bench for Evan Fournier. But yeah, he has been getting the minutes for this Pistons team as well. Anything else you're looking at? I probably going to get there with Josh Hart rebounds and assist to go over. He's been pretty consistently hitting that. I know we've talked a lot about that on the pod. I think that was the only one as far as a player prop like for this game was Josh Hart rebounds and assists over, I think it was 12, 13 and a half or 12 and a half. Let me get the exact number. But anything else you're looking at?
Let's see here. All-Star Thompson over 9.5 points at plus money. The Knicks are bottom 5, actually 27th, if you want to be exact, in opponents' points per paint in the last 5 games. And you have All-Star Thompson, who's been playing really, really good basketball and been able to score. They kind of, after they made the trades and they've got this new identity for the Pistons, they're kind of leaning on him to start doing and a lot more things, not just scoring the basketball, rebounding, defensively, all that. So I think All-Star and the defense is going to keep him on the floor, and that's going to provide him opportunities to just backdoor cut, get easy buckets. I think All-Star should be able to reach 10 points in this game. So All-Star Thompson over 9.5.
All right. All right. Before we get over to the next game of the night, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bet's revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame Bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com and use promo code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. All right, Terrell, next game on the schedule here. We got the Brooklyn Nets. They are headed to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. The Nets are a 1.5 point favorite in this game with a total of 215.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Brooklyn Nets, they are going to be pretty clean for them. Only questionable tag is going to be Ben Simmons. He's sitting with left leg soreness. For the Memphis Grizzlies, the usual suspects are all out. Marcus Smart, John Moran, John Conchar, Brandon Clark, and Desmond Bain. I'll start with the side here. Terrell, Nets laying 1.5 on the road in Memphis here tonight.
Do you want to put a bet down on Brooklyn right now?
Not when they lost against the Raptors by 28 points and they lost to Minnesota by 15 points, and they haven't even scored 95 points over their last 3 games. So my money's on Memphis here tonight.
I'm trying to figure out why they're favored. That's the only thing that's really slowing me down. Why is Brooklyn favored? Why? Memphis is so underrated because of that injury report. It's actually insane. And I hope that this disgustingness that everybody's seeing from Memphis this year is going to give us an amazing price on them for the championship next year. Like, I am so bought in on Memphis next year. They just need a big. I am so bought in on Memphis next year. They just, like, literally, if Steven Adams was still on the team and you told me he was coming back full health next year, I would be 1,000% in on Memphis to win it all next year. This team, with the supporting cast that they have now, what was the score of that? They covered the 9.5 against the Clippers, coming right out of the All-Star break, doing exactly what they were doing when they beat Milwaukee. Just play good defense. Play good defense and hope that the shots fall your way.
101.95. Clippers won.
I mean, it's not too many times that a team pulls up and just outshoots and literally destroys this team. Like, it's not too many times. Memphis is so scrappy and so annoying. A little gnat at the bar pissing you off, just buzzing around your freaking ear. That's what Memphis does. I'm not fading Memphis. I'm not fading Memphis.
Memphis
don't care.
8-2 ATS in their last 10 home games. And they've won. They've covered 4 straight at home as well. Plain and simple. Grizzlies.
Bro, I'm taking like there's one team that's playing good basketball and still losing sometimes. They're actually winning a few of these games. And then there's a team that looks horrible and plays horrible. And even though they switched the coach up, it's still bad right now. Maybe they turn the corner. I'm not getting ahead of that. If you get ahead of Brooklyn turning the corner and them going on a run and them starting to play better today, congrats to you. I'll clap and cheer you on from the side of the road in the loser circle. Other than that, I'm taking Memphis. Like I'm fading this Brooklyn team until further notice. Like I just can't do it.
Yeah,
I don't
agree.
I don't understand do you think they outscore Memphis? They don't score that many points already. So I mean, it's not like it's much to try to outscore them, but Memphis is like light years better than them defensively right now. It's a whole bunch of two-way dogs on Memphis that are fighting for their lives. I don't know how I can get behind Brooklyn right now. They're not playing well.
There was something that me and Scott had talked about with this Memphis team. Like, you're going to get their best effort because you have guys that are playing for this Memphis team that are playing for their future, right? Whether it's with Memphis or whether it's going to be with another team, because this is their opportunity to showcase, and some of those roster spots that open up, in the summer or going into next season, like, this is the opportunity for this Memphis Grizzlies team. So, yeah, I'm taking the plus 1.5 here on the money line as well for the Memphis Grizzlies. Anything on the total, Terrell? 215.5.
Yeah, under. This could be like that Charlotte and Pistons game last night. Yeah, it could be just like that, where both teams struggling to get to 100. Memphis has been playing really good. I'd take a Nets team total under as well. Like, I'm not confident in either one of these teams getting over 100 points. So both of these two teams play with an extremely slow pace right now. Brooklyn towards the bottom of the league in terms of pace, where were they at in the last 5 games?
They have, let's see,
26 in pace in the last 5 games. And then Memphis is 19th.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting to see a slow pace game, better defense, not really concerned of any world beaters on offense. Maybe you have a really big Cam Thomas game. Maybe you have a really big Cam Thomas game in there or something like that. Maybe you have a really big Jaren Jackson Jr. game in there somewhere, but nothing that I think that this is going to sky soaring over the total. So yeah, I like the under.
Yeah, I'm with you. Both these teams are bottom 8 as far as offensive rating as well over the last 5 games here as well. So under for me, 215.5. You have anything on player props? I know John mentioning Nick Claxton under PRA for the Brooklyn Nets. He said, what do you say? Let's see here. Last 15 games, he's been 10 games to the under of the last 10 out of the last 15, and the last 8 road games, 6 of 8 towards the under on his PRA. So that's a good call there.
Hey man, that's the prop bet brother right there. Prop bet brother.
Yeah,
John. Yeah, I'm tailing John. I'm tailing John with that under.
Yeah, John be coming out of nowhere. He'll randomly message me with these stats, and I got to get on it, man. I don't know. He finds a way though. Yeah, appreciate that one, John. We'll definitely be on that.
I mean, it makes sense because you think that there's going to be a lot of. You think that he's going to struggle to score.
Yeah,
with Jaren Jackson Jr. in the paint, and I think that it's a slow paced game, and offense is going to be maybe 100 on each side. So yeah, I think unders are the way to go today.
Let's see what else.
See, Lonnie Walker points. Chat's got a lot of props. Lonnie Walker over points. Vince Williams 6.5 assists plus money. Yeah, I like Vince. VCU guy.
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of player props in this game. You have anything else?
Yeah, I will 100% in a game that I think is going to be ugly and a lot of good defense played. I'm fading Ben Simmons. I just want to know how much am I fading Ben Simmons by today? Am I fading him by 4.5? Am I fading him by 6.5? I'm fading him by, I don't know because they won't have him listed. If he plays,
he's definitely questionable on the injury report.
If he plays, I'm fading him. I don't think he's going to score anything. I got to go back and look at the Santi Aldama props too. I know that his unders were going crazy at one point. I think that they've caught up. He's down to 9.5 now.
Let's see what he's done. Last 5 games, averaging 7.6 points. Last time he had more than 10 points was against the Charlotte Hornets, but since then, 7-7-6.
It was at one point. It was points were at 13.5. I remember playing that. I think Scott was talking about it too.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, Scott had mentioned it when me and him did a show together. I know you guys mentioned it as well. So Marcus seems like it's finally adjusted at least to his points prop. You got anything else?
Nah. Expect an ugly, slow game in that one.
All right, last game on the schedule. It's going to be the Miami Heat. They are in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Kings fresh off of a victory last night against LA. They are traveling back home to take on a Miami Heat team. Currently, as it stands, the Kings are a 6.5-point favorite in this game with a total of 225. Looking at the injury report, I mean, we talked about it for the Miami Heat guys that are serving suspensions. Thomas Bryant, Jimmy Butler, Nikola Jovic is going to be out as well. Josh Richardson is going to be out for this game as well. He's dealing with a right shoulder dislocation. Duncan Robinson is available to play, and then they have 3 guys that are questionable here tonight. Tyler Hero, Orlando Robinson, and Terry Rozier is also upgraded to questionable. I know he was out with that knee injury.
Might see a Terry return today.
Yeah. No injury report yet for the Clippers. Like I mentioned, they did play last night, so they do get that extra time
for this to Kings.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the Kings. They do get that extra time to submit that injury report. But let's start with the side here. -6.5 in favor of the Sacramento Kings hosting the Miami Heat.
Oh, I mean, this is easy. We have a Heat team that is depleted, a road dog, and a road dog by over 2 possessions. Heat. It's easy. Take the Heat.
I mean, I was looking at the Kings' minutes last night. 36 for Sabonis, 33 for Fox, 37 for Murray, 36 for Barnes, 28 for Malik Monk. I think it's a huge letdown spot here for the Miami.
Right after beating the Clippers. Right after beating the Clippers, especially because the game, I'm pretty sure the Clippers-Kings game before that was the one where the Clippers dogged them. De'Aaron Fox didn't do anything. Like, I think they were done by like midway in third quarter or something like that. And so they come back, had a really, really big win. Now you're back. You're coming back from the All-Star break, 2 straight wins, 1 at home, on the road. Now you're traveling back. Miami. This is Miami as a dog. This is when Miami thrives. And they're rolling. They feel good about themselves right now. I'm rolling with Miami plus 6.5. It's really not any question about this.
Sacramento on back-to-back situations this season at home, 1-2 straight up, 0-3 against the spread. They're giving up 125.3 points per game in that span. So, yeah, I'm all over the Miami Heat here as well. Anything on the total, 225?
Now, do they score or do they play good defense? I think Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, you got Jaime Jaquez still playing, Caleb Martin still playing, Bam still in there for what it's worth.
I know you're not the Bam guy, but I think this is a huge Bam game.
I mean, it should be. And then you may have Terry coming back into the lineup as well. Like, you're not really concerned about the interior defense of the what is it? The Kings. Yeah, I think yeah. So it's a Miami. Miami has the matchup. When Jaquez driving into the lane, you got Bam, Scary Terry. If he's out there, hopefully he just doesn't jacking up threes. That would, yeah. They should be able to find Caleb Martin. Like, a lot of these guys get to the basket close range, points inside the paint. That's where the Kings are really struggling at defensively. Yeah. All right. Miami team total over.
All right. Player props, what are you looking at?
I like Jaquez.
Okay.
I like Jaquez, and I think Jaquez is going to be able to score. I think Caleb Martin. Those are really where I think I'm going to try to channel most of the scoring. Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez coming off the bench, or unless he's starting this game, he might start, but Caleb Martin and Tyler Hero. Probably if Rozier plays, then Jaquez is coming off the bench. Then I'll like Jaquez a lot more coming off the bench than probably starting. But I just got to see who's playing finally for Miami and piece together the lineup from there. But I know I'm playing Tyler Hero. I think Tyler Hero has a great matchup today. I think he's going to be able to score. And then Caleb Martin is very interesting to me as well.
Yeah, I was looking at Bam rebounds as well. That number's at 10.5 at -125. He's done really well this season without Jimmy Butler in the lineup, and he's actually been rebounding the basketball really well over the past several games. So if I want to play Bam's rebounds and assists, points and rebounds to go over, or just his rebounds alone, I think that might be worth a good look here tonight, at least for Bam. I think he has a good matchup here tonight.
Bam's scoring 5th in the league, 17.6 points inside the paint over the past 5 games.
Yeah.
Only people better than him: Giannis, Sabonis, Jokic, Zion.
There you go. Love that. You got anything else for this game?
No, I'm good. That's it.
All right, let's get over to our lock and dog here for tonight, and then we'll put together our Underdog Fantasy entry. You want to lead us off?
Yeah, sure. Memphis +1.5 lock. Let's just keep fading Brooklyn. I got hesitant about Charlotte yesterday, and there was no point in doing that. I feel like this is somewhat similar, where I think that the line is just wrong. Like, I think the line is just wrong, and people are backing this Brooklyn team, and they have no business to. Trust Memphis to get it done. Memphis has been playing better basketball. Memphis is at home. Brooklyn is desperate, but I think it's over. Memphis Grizzlies +1.5.
It's up to +2 now, so even a better number for you.
Okay. For my dog, Miami on the money line. Get it done. +215 on the money line to get it done. This is a letdown spot for Sacramento coming off a back-to-back. And we've seen Sacramento on back-to-backs this season. They had a back-to-back against the Nuggets that completely got buried in. Now, that's plus travel and altitude. Now they're getting travel, but they're going to be at home this time. So there's open for various there. But I think the Miami Heat, even with the suspension, even with the injuries, this is how the Heat operate all year. They operate on a half supporting staff. They're always better as a dog. They're better as a road dog. They're better as a road dog when they're catching 6 or more. I think this is all opportunity where we just sit here. We see a classic. Eric Spoelstra coaches his team up when they're not expected to win the game, and they put on a really good showing. They had a really good game against the Pelicans last time out. I think it could carry over. Miami Heat +6.5. It's my dog, so +215 on the money line.
There you go. All right, for my lock, I will take the Nets team total under 108.5 for a team that hasn't even sniffed 100 points over their last 3 games. You're now going to put a Memphis team that's been solid defensively, especially at home. I don't think the Nets will get to this number. So team total under for the Nets at 108.5. For my dog, it's going to be a player prop parlay, which I really did like. So that's going to be Emmanuel Quickly over 2.5 3-pointers made, and I'm going to take Bam over 10.5 rebounds here tonight.
Okay,
that'll get you to +230.
+230. Some juicy dogs on the show today.
Yeah, Bam over 10.5 rebounds, and then Emmanuel Quickly over 2.5 3-pointers made. That'll get you to +230. Which leads us to Terrell, our Underdog Fantasy lineup here for tonight. Again, UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. Not only are we in that contest, but hey, we're going to reward you guys. Get in there. New account holders, make sure you use that promo code. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog. 5 lucky winners. Excuse me. We'll get merch from Underdog Fantasy, hat, t-shirts, and then also a $50 SGPN gift card to our merch store. So again, make sure you guys get in there. Underdogfantasy.com, promo code NBA SGPN. All right, Terrell, where are we starting for our entry here for tonight?
I will throw out All-Star Thompson higher 9.5 points. You look at he's averaging 11.1 in the month of February here. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games in February thus far. He has gone over this number in 6 of 9. They're using him a lot more now that they've gotten the trade deadline out the way. They've gotten the waivers out the way. They start to find the rotation. They're letting the young guys play, and they're giving the young guys opportunity. He was 4 for 4 yesterday against the Orlando was it yesterday? No, Saturday. I'm sorry. Saturday against the Orlando Magic. He was 4 for 4. But before that, 5 for 10, 7 for 13, 9 for 13, 5 for 12. You see the shot attempts that I'm talking about, 10, 13, 13, 12. He's getting opportunity. I think he can get to 9.5 points against the defense in the New York Knicks that, again, 27th in points inside the paint. All-Star is doing all of his work inside the paint. I give it up to All-Star Thompson, higher 9.5 points.
All right. I will throw in Josh Hart, rebounds and assists, higher 13.5. Again, I think that defensively, this team needs to step up, and Josh Hart right now is their best defensive player. But he also does a great job of rebounding the basketball. He also dishes the ball out, puts guys in the right spots, and it's also he's playing a lot of minutes for this Knicks team, and a guy like Josh Hart is what Tom Thibodeau looks for in his player, so he's going to put him out there. And Josh Hart is a guy that just goes out and plays, man. He doesn't get tired. 43 minutes, like I mentioned, that Celtics game. So I do expect him to rack up the rebounds and assists in this game here again tonight. So higher 13.5 rebounds and assists combined for Josh Hart. You want to go Tyler Hero? Yeah.
Let me see. Would we like anything else more than? Let's go with let's play Jones Claxton.
Oh yeah.
Let's play Jones Claxton play for a lower. We need a lower in there.
Claxton. Let's see here. All right. So yeah, there you go. Perfect. So Claxton lower on his PRA of 25.5. Jog put out the numbers there. 10 of his last 15. He's gone lower on his PRA, and then 6 of the last 8 road games. He's also go lower on his PRA of 25.5. So we'll throw in Superfan Jong into our fantasy entry.
Now we have a person to blame. We have a person to blame for if we lose one, we know who to put the blame on.
All right. So just to recap, we're going to go Thompson, Sir Thompson of the Detroit Pistons, higher 9.5 points. Josh Hart, rebounds and assists, higher 13.5. And Nick Claxton of the Brooklyn Nets, lower on his PRA of 25.5. Again, don't have an account yet? Make sure you use that promo code NBASGPN. If you already do have one, get your family, friends, coworkers involved, tap them over the shoulder, get their phone, sign them up. You get a deposit bonus of up to $100 on your first deposit for new account users. When you do that, make sure you go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/dog. Merch up for grab from Underdog, hats, t-shirts, and then we'll hook you up also 5 lucky winners with a $50 SGPN gift card. All right, that is going to do it here tonight for this NBA gambling podcast episode for the Monday schedule. Terrell, anything else you want to mention, my man, before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. That's it. Let's have a day.
Yeah, make sure to follow Terrell on Instagram and on Twitter at reallyrail__. You can follow me there as well at SportsNerd824. And again, you can also make sure to subscribe to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube channel. Hit subscribe and do us a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Leave us a comment as well in that comment section for the NBA Gambling Podcast on YouTube. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with myself and Scott for the Tuesday games. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and let it ride.